And now, I talk back with Ray
I'm telling you, I couldn't make it up if I tried.
and Mandii.
You've got to be freaking kidding me. You know what? That's all I'm saying.
All right. Welcome to another wonderful episode, of course, of I Talk Back with Ray and Mandii. Happy December. Hope everybody's doing well this December. This year went by really fast, I think.
Girl, you're telling me.
November, like what I read something the other day. Somebody said November pulled into the driveway, like backed up into the driveway. Is that what you wrote?
That was me, girl.
I went back up into the driveway, got a to-go plate and left.
I said pace.
I was like, that's exactly what happened in November.
Yeah.
I don't even remember November.
November said I'm out.
It wasn't here long.
Yeah.
Let me back up so that I can make sure I don't stay long.
Girl.
So this episode is super interesting. I don't even know what some of this is about. Amanda has kept a secret from me on purpose. So this is super cool. So I'm listening while y'all are listening. This is going to be about women in male-dominated careers.
Yeah.
How y'all feel about that? What would be a male-dominated career? Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. So I am all about girl power, right? Like, go girl. I support my other female entrepreneurs, just whatever. Like, females in general, I support you. I really, really do. However, I'm kind of, I don't even know. I'm indifferent when it comes to females in male-dominated careers. Okay. And this is why. Because it was brought to my attention that there are two female sports commentators that were having a conversation. Now, There were 4 total in this episode, right?
Okay.
There was 2 men, 2 women, and one of the females congratulated the other female on her pregnancy. Now, mind you, this show was going on during a football game.
Okay.
So it was during a football game, 2 female sports commentators, 2 males, all together, and one of the females congratulated the other one on her pregnancy. So the camera caught one of the guys having an expression on his face that was like, you know what I mean? Like, because they were taken aback. Because people are watching this show are predominantly male.
Okay.
It's a football game, right? I mean, females like football as well. But when you think about the football in general, It's a male-dominated sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the camera caught him making a face that was kind of like, what, just
he was like a little bit taken aback.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then, they also were talking about their favorite clips from games, right?
Okay.
And one of them said that her favorite clip was when they caught somebody proposing.
Oh.
So you see what I'm saying?
Nothing to do with football.
Correct.
Yeah.
They were about things that us as women would think were like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But does that belong in a football game's commentary space? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Interesting.
So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God, you put me on the spot. Okay, so my thoughts. Well, I'm going to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
So, the thought about the comment congratulating the lady about the pregnancy. I mean, I don't know if there's anything wrong with it necessarily, but if a man got his wife pregnant, like another commentator got one of his wives, Lord Jesus.
Oh, wait.
One of their wives, like, whoever the other men that were there, were pregnant, would they congratulate him on his wife getting pregnant? It's the same difference, right? They're both pregnant, but it's almost, I liken it to, let me tell you this. I'm going to tell y'all this story. The other day, the morning, I was watching the news. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say what news station, but I was watching the news. And they have this weather guy that was talking. And then, so he was a weather guy, and it was like a road lady, like just doing the traffic, right, report. So she's doing the traffic report first. Mm-hmm. And she was just doing the traffic report. Then they pan to him because he had to do the weather report next. And he said, "Oh, your dress is really pretty today." And that was odd to me.
Right.
It seemed so out of place from what they were doing.
Right.
Now, he didn't tell the other gentleman he had a nice suit on.
Right.
So why would you tell this lady that her dress was so pretty? And he kept making weird, like, it just is, I don't even know if he's still on the program, but like, and then like the next lady that came on, he was like, "Oh, your hair is nice." Like, I was like, what is wrong with this dude? Like, it was just so awkward. So I say that to say, I think unless the lady probably number one said it was okay to mention that, then I guess that would be okay. But is it supposed to be at a place where they're talking about football and that should be the focus?
Right.
I
like, is this like a read the room moment? You know what I mean?
I think
like,
so.
What is going on right now? And what would probably be an appropriate conversation during this time? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Because at the end of the day, y'all know, I mean, I love sports. I'm a football mom. I've been around football. My brother played football. So growing up around football.
Yeah.
And I think it would be never in my thought process have I ever looked at a football clip or looked at a football program and wanted to comment on, like when they say, what is your best plays? Or the best player, who gets MVP,
right?
And who, the MVP of the game. I'm not gonna say, oh, when the guy proposed. I don't know how that would work,
right? And see, that's what I'm saying. Like little things like that. Like I feel like definitely be mindful of the conversation because how does that fit into it?
But then too, it does give a little femininity,
right?
To a male-dominated sport. And so you don't necessarily want to take that out of it because, women, of course, we're everywhere and we belong everywhere. And NFL has so many female people that actually enjoy watching.
Right.
That, I don't know.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
It's
like, this is kind of like a split one. That's why I'm indifferent because I can see both sides.
Exactly. I can see both. I can see, I wouldn't necessarily want to take away our personalities to fit into this genre. But I also think sometimes if it's too much, then it's like, well, wait a minute. We're talking about the football game.
Right.
We're talking about making a play.
Right.
Getting extra yards, turning, a play that was like a dead ball into, oh my God, they're like running around and they're throwing it back and then they actually do it and they score pick six or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I would think that it would be appropriate or not appropriate.
Yeah. So how do you feel? So, learning and knowing about how marketing goes and things like that, you think about the different commercials that come on during different shows that you're watching, right?
Yes.
So when you're watching sports, a lot of it is geared towards males because they're the ones predominantly watching this thing. Now, when you go flip it on the other side and you go to Hallmark, right?
Yeah.
It's mainly women watching the Hallmark Channel, so a lot of the commercials are geared towards women. How would you feel if they started throwing commercials in there that were geared towards men when you're watching the Hallmark Channel? Because it's kind of like a vibe, right? So when you're getting this, it's kind of like an emotional vibe with you and whatever it is that you're watching. So if you're watching Hallmark and then they start throwing in commercials for like freaking jock itch or condoms, you know what I mean? Like Rogaine. You see what I'm saying? Like,
well, I know women that use Rogaine. They do have the women's Rogaine.
I'm just saying if it was male Rogaine, okay?
I do.
Let's just be specific.
Condoms. I think condoms is for everybody. Because that could be like if a woman is in charge of her birth control, she may want to make sure she keeps condoms in her house for the man. But I do.
No, I'm talking about the male condom commercial, like the Magnum. Do you know, like the dark colors because they're geared for men.
There is. I get it.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't watch commercials. Your mind is so different than
I'm just saying,
Y'all can tell who's like, I'm like, yeah. I probably wouldn't even think that would be honest.
Okay.
I probably would kind of just be like, it's a commercial.
I think that like.
But I also am the person that pauses when the commercials start, and I go do something, make me some popcorn or go get me a drink.
So you're not even paying attention to them.
And then I fast forward to the commercials and I get back to the show.
So you're not paying attention to the commercials. So it don't really matter to you.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
But I would get kind of irritated if I kept watching like NFL, because I like watching Sports Center, and I would probably get a little bit irritated if they keep referring back to things that have nothing to do with why I'm watching this show.
That's all I'm
So
saying.
I expect to watch that, to watch Sports Center and hear about sports.
That's all I'm saying. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I said, I am all for women being in male-dominated
Yeah.
fields, like female surgeons. Like, you know, the doctor, one of the
Yeah.
doctors I work for, she is a female general surgeon. That's a male-dominated field. Or like, you know, construction workers, that's a male-dominated field, but there are female construction workers out there, roofers, you know, all of that. I am so for women being able to do male jobs, right?
Yeah.
But it's just during certain things that are going on, I
Yeah.
feel like it should be geared toward what the
be
focus
about
should be
the
about
show.
what is
It should
happening.
it should be about the show,
You
not
see what I'm
necessarily
saying?
like personal stuff. Yeah.
Right. So I was
That's
kind of
super
like,
interesting.
yeah. So we were, so my husband brought it to my attention, and I was like, huh. We had a conversation at like freaking 7:30 in the morning while I was on my way to work, you know, because we have some deep thinking conversations. You see what I'm saying? And I was just like, interesting. I was like, I need to chat with Ray about that one.
I hadn't seen that, so
Yeah.
I wonder how I would feel in the moment.
Right. It would take you off guard, I'm sure, because like you said,
Kind of
you
like
are
the
focused
news thing,
on
right? I'm like,
football. You're focused on sports, right?
like the guy, and I'm like, what does her dress have to do with the weather? Like,
Yeah.
and it was just so weird, like how he said it.
Yeah.
And there were like sometimes you'll have people give inappropriate compliments,
Right.
that they wouldn't give to somebody of another sex.
Exactly. And that may make
So,
the person uncomfortable. Like while
seriously.
you're meaning well behind
Yeah.
it may not be received well.
Exactly.
So that's why it's like you got to really be mindful.
Yeah.
So
like what if I didn't want anybody to know I was pregnant, the whole world to know I was pregnant?
right.
Or, you know, my medical mind goes to HIPAA.
Yeah.
Or like confidentiality.
What if you're a surrogate? What if you don't know whose baby it is? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like now my mind's going. Like, do we really want to know about this? Do we want to talk about this?
I guess the same way I probably wouldn't tell a guy, congratulations, your wife is pregnant, like on national TV.
Unless they've been talking about it.
Yeah, but on a show that we're talking about sports, I just don't know if I would do that.
But and then you know Donnell and I talked about that too. Like we talked about women congratulating men on their wives being pregnant or being pregnant, even though it's their wives that are being pregnant. And he was like, "Do people do that?" I'm like, "They do. Like, they'll like, oh, I heard y'all are pregnant. Congratulations!" Even though he's not the one carrying, he's still
pregnant.
part of the pregnancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Donnell was like, "I've never heard anybody congratulate a man on being pregnant." I'm like, "Well, we're not congratulating him on being pregnant, but I mean, you know,
the conception process,
right, exactly.
Good job. You did a great job, sir.
Right."
I don't know.
But I'm just saying. So I was talking to Donnell. So one of my favorite movies, actually not one of them, my favorite movie in the entire planet is a movie called Still Magnolias. You heard of it? Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So the OG Still Magnolias, right? I know they did a reboot. Have never seen it because I love the original. Mm-hmm. So in that movie, one of the characters, her husband passes away, and he owned a football team or a radio station. And so she went. You know, she owns a radio station. So she went into the locker room after they won a game. And mind you, this is a movie, but it's still relevant.
Yeah.
She goes into the locker room after the game to do a show, right, for the radio station. And she asked about the colors of their uniform. She was like, what would you call this? Is it like an aubergine? And Shirley MacLaine's character, who's Weezer in the movie, she says, shut up. She was like, people don't want to hear about that shit. She was like, they just want to hear about the injuries. All I'm saying.
Same thing.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's true because people are listening to that to hear about the game.
And I think you have to wonder sometimes too, like, if did she mean to get that job? Like, you know how like some people will be filled into a position because it's available.
Right.
They may not have the background. They may not have the passion. For that, and so they're just kind of, but they're in there because of various reasons, whether they needed a job or they had to
inherited, or
maybe she's a fill-in or whatever the case is, and then so she ended up didn't have the passion for football, so she likes the pretty and she likes that, so to her, of course, that's her true self, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if it would be interesting to see if she has a passion for the sport that she is doing. Like, I don't know who it was, so I'm not sure. Maybe she's not always
right.
Because I honestly don't see, if somebody asked me, like, based on the, like I said, it's you know, NFL Sunday, and somebody asked me, what is the best thing that you saw happen
in the
during
game?
during the games? my gut reaction is going to mention a throw, a catch,
About the game.
something about the game. It wouldn't be about what happened in the stands.
Right.
So that would be interesting to know. Like, I'm gonna look that up.
Like, what was behind that?
Yeah. To see, like, okay, she thought the proposal was the best part of the game.
Of the
but
game?
It's not
the best
game.
part of the game? Like,
Yeah.
that sentence doesn't
I
even
wonder,
go together.
is she always a caster, a sports caster?
I don't know, girl. I don't know the background.
Yeah.
I just brought this information.
I'm gonna look that up now.
I did
Now
not
I'm
watch
interested.
the segment, but just the thought of it,
Yeah.
I can see it happening. And then my thought process was, why?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a segment that you should be incorporating that type of conversation, because if you have 2 women and 2 males, I feel like the conversation, and not just in this particular
But I
thing.
can see a man saying, and that's why women don't need to be sportscasters.
Girl.
I can see a man being like,
and now it's
what?
used against
and
us,
then now
right?
the guy made the face,
Right.
and so now he's like
Yes.
the bad guy, but it's not.
Right.
He's not the bad guy. It's just
just different.
It was a weird
Right.
segue to what they were talking about, and it really had nothing to do with the episode. It seemed like.
But I also feel like you have to, because, I mean, anybody knows when you're with a pool of women, you have like 5 women sitting at a table and 5 men sitting at a table. Conversations are going to be different, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like the women are going to be having different conversations. Now, when you combine them, now you got 10 people, you got 5 women, 5 men. Conversations going to be different again, right?
And it really depends on I could go into my little rabbit hole with that, because it could be like, what are we meeting for? Is it like a leisurely lunch? Is it a leisurely dinner?
Are we
or
talking
are we
about
meeting
business?
business? Yeah, because they're obviously going to gauge the conversation as well. So that's super interesting.
But and then again, if you're there to meet about business, what do you expect the topic's going to be about?
Business.
Okay.
But I will say this: I do get irritated when I have a meeting about something, like a business meeting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being held hostage. So what? You want to talk about the business?
Yes.
And why I'm there?
Yeah.
So my whole life is a schedule. So if I want to talk about this, hey, let's talk about the business, and then you're talking about all this other stuff that has nothing to do with the business. It's easily to get sidetracked.
Absolutely.
It's easy to lose focus. And then before we know it, we have not addressed anything that I came there for, and now your time is up.
Right. And now you have no answers.
And you have no
to your
answers,
questions.
and then I got to reschedule. So
A waste of time.
yeah,
And you don't have time to waste.
So I could see so fast forward, like when you put that in comparison to the segment, I can see it's like, okay, that is not what we're even talking about.
Right.
So I can see how it could get a little misconstrued for sure. Yeah.
So, but I am all for women taking on, male dominated fields, because I feel like it should be that way.
Yeah, it should be even,
It doesn't matter if you're male or female. Like we're people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
It's like volleyball having a male, because a lot of volleyball is women.
Right.
And so having a male as a sportscaster.
Right.
For a women's volleyball would be fine.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I wouldn't necessarily want to hear him talking about muscle cars. Or I don't know. I mean, women like muscle cars too. Whatever a male-dominated topic would be, I may not want to hear that.
Right. But we listen to certain things and we watch certain things because it's what we're interested in and what we want to know about.
Yeah.
So when you start taking that out and putting other things in that aren't related to it.
I just turn the channel.
Right.
And that's not what they want, right? They want you to listen to their program and stuff like that. So
right, exactly. So, again, at the end of the day, it's just reading the room. Yeah. What are we here to talk about? And on the note of meetings, girl, my whole life is a meeting, guys. So let me tell you, for my meetings, I create an agenda for all of them. I create talking points for all of them.
It's color-coded, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
My calendar's color-coded. My calendar looks like a damn rainbow. But all my items on my agenda feed into the other one so that we can have a straight conversation. I don't like to jump around. I like my stuff to feed.
Yeah.
So this subject, when I get done, so I will rearrange my agenda to focus on what I feel will be a good transition.
Gotcha.
I like to transition smoothly into the next item on my agenda.
But then that's literally how these shows are.
Yeah.
So when you're you're transitioning from the best play of the day to maybe the MVP player.
Right.
So you have you have the play and then the player.
Right.
and then that's not the conversation. It would be like, okay, wait a minute. And like, you know how sometimes they do polls?
Yes.
So let's say like the 4 people are there, you pick the best play, and then we're gonna vote on what is the best play. Unless they did that on purpose. I know that's super interesting. To where like maybe like to take away the focus and like give somebody an alternate. Because you know what some people will do is like they figure that having somebody that's different like that will pull in more women.
Right.
And I don't believe that's all the way true sometimes because if you're a woman and you truly love sports, I don't know any women that don't love sports that watch Sports Center.
Right.
And so when you watch Sports Center, you're watching it to listen. Exactly. You're like, oh, it's coming on. Wait a minute, where you at? So like, you know what I mean? So like, so you're listening to it, tuning into it to listen to sports. So,
right. Because that's what you want.
Exactly.
That's why you're listening to it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that could be very interesting to see like why that was done. Like why would they would do that. I don't know.
And I'm not saying like, like I said, read the room. It depends on what is going on. So if you're on a show and it is just lively conversations, like talking back and forth, absolutely bring up whatever topics you want and have the conversation. But if you're on there just to specifically talk about that subject, focus on that subject. You know what I mean?
And then the bigger question is, if a man was sitting in the seat where the conversation had went that way.
Right. And then now,
interesting.
Yeah. And now we're looking at like news. Like if you watch the news, what are you expecting to see? Shit that's going on locally, right? Like what's happening right now. And if all of a sudden you see somebody, oh, hey, congratulations on your new home. Or it's like, what the, like really, like okay.
How's the traffic? I try to get to work. I'm trying to plan my route to traffic for work.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like,
that's interesting.
Just, yeah.
What do y'all think?
Yes, tell us your thoughts.
I feel like a little torn by it, but I don't know if it's torn because so I will say this very frankly. I don't know if I'm torn because people are so sensitive.
Don't get hurt, guys.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of things that I feel I can't say. Here I can't say it because, you know, this is our thing. But like, there's a lot of places where you can't express how you truly feel about a topic.
Yes.
So then you hee-haw around it, not really wanting to give an answer. Right?
Yes.
Which is not good because irregardless of how you feel about it, it's how you feel about it.
Right.
Like, there was this one client of mine and they brought somebody else on to help do something and I had to work with the person. Right? I'm trying not to touch my mic, but the first introduction, it didn't go very well. Like the way they introduced it didn't go very well. And I believe I don't have to like you to work with you, but I think the personality, I don't mesh with some personalities very well.
Right.
And so I just had to just be like, okay, well this is a task.
Right.
And I'm going to get this task. I don't have to like, but they were just so hyper focused on me liking the person. I literally had to say like day before yesterday, you do realize I don't have to like her.
Right. Exactly.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
Right. So I think what it is like, we're just used to this society where everybody's supposed to like everything and everybody and not have anything to say negative about. There are some times that I feel very negative about some things or some people, and that's okay.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this because, you know, I don't have a filter and I say what I want. COVID has made everybody hypersensitive. Everybody is hypersensitive about a lot of things because of that. And some of them have been able to shake it and get back to normal. And some people have not. Yeah. But we are in a society right now where people are just emotional and sensitive and a little too much.
Yeah.
And I do hold back a lot of my conversations or a lot of things that I would like to say to people because I'm just not going to waste my time in that conversation because I am a forward thinker and I think long term and I'm always on the thought of, is this conversation going to be beneficial for me? Or is it going to be a waste of my time? Yeah. And if it's going to be a waste of my time, I'm just not going to have it. Yeah. So I will go on my way and you can go on your way and I can think what I think about you and whatever, because I'm just not going to say it. It's just not worth my breath, not worth my time. Like Ray said, we are on a calendar. Like we just...
Yeah, and all of it too, like my thing is like now I think about a few things, right, when I have conversations with people. So I think how I am giving this. Right, whether it's information or opinion or whatever the case is, are they going to receive it how I'm giving it?
Right.
Or are they going to be in their self and in their feelings to where they can't even receive the information because they're so hypersensitive about the topic.
Right.
They're not understanding what I'm saying. They just shut down.
Yeah.
Not pay attention to what I said, what I
Right.
meant, anything. It's just, oh my gosh, this is what she said. I'm offended. I'm hurt. So the purpose of it gets completely lost.
Right.
So that's what I think a lot of the time when it comes to conversations is, am I giving it the way they're going to receive it? And if I feel like they're not emotionally mature enough to receive what I'm giving and how I'm giving it, I don't have the energy to explain because and then and they can just sit like that and that's okay with me.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, both of us, we are very mindful in our conversations and we like to have thought-provoking conversations.
Yeah.
So if people are just not mature enough for that, then why waste time?
Exactly. Like there's just no point of it because I don't have the energy. And I extend grace because grace is extended to me. And after a while, I'm just thinking to myself, why did I say anything?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like horrible when you end up with this long drawn out conversation.
I know.
You're like, I should have just shut up. I should have said,
Yeah.
Because I will hug you to death.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sounds good.
Oh, girl.
Thumbs up.
You can tell when you and I are over the conversation because we will have this face like, yeah, like we're just done.
Whatever you think. Sure.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, exactly. I gotta go.
oh, it's a lot of calling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got another meeting.
I'm already late.
Yeah.
And my meeting might be to be in my bed at home rested. But like, you don't need to know that.
my meeting may need to be, I just need to get in my car to go home.
You see? Yeah, so I think it's an interesting topic. It's very I can't wait to see what y'all say about it.
Yes. Please let us know. I am seriously, like, honestly curious to see how you feel about that.
Too.
How do you feel about females in male-dominated careers, and if the conversation needs to be appropriate for the topic?
Yeah. Even flip it, like male and female dominated careers, to see this, to see if, and give me an example if you have one, because I love looking at stuff.
What about fashion shows? Is that female dominated or like fashion?
No, I think that's both.
It is? Okay. What other one would be female dominated? Journalism, that's both, right?
I believe there are more female journalists than men.
Okay. What about news? Like news stations. I'm thinking about people that are that do public outreach or that are in the public.
I think what it is that it's so hard to know the news because now they make it so even.
Yeah.
That it's hard to tell who's behind the scenes. Like I wouldn't know who's behind the scenes, but I figure now when I'm looking at anything, it's so even. Like there's the amount of men and women, and then the ethnic groups, and then
I feel like I see a lot of
healthcare is truly female dominated.
And now it used to be male dominated.
Well, no, you know what it is though. So let me rephrase that. Healthcare, it depends on the hierarchy.
Right.
Physicians, providers is male dominated.
Right.
And then you have women underneath, because surgeons are male dominated.
Right.
But
so frontline staff.
Exactly. But those are surely
are female. Yes, absolutely. And
interesting.
So I work in a bariatric surgeon's office. My docs are also general surgery, but in our office we have a very small staff. We have one male in our office, which is one of the doctors, and the rest of the staff is female. I do the interviewing and the hiring, and I have interviewed males for the position. I do not have an issue hiring males for the medical field, but I don't want people thinking that just because we're all female, it's because I have a preference to female workers. Right, exactly. Because it is a female-dominated field. When you come to administrative work.
It is.
That's female-dominated. Yeah. But there are male administrators out there as well.
A lot of times when you see male administrators, they're in a higher position.
Yes. CEOs, CFOs.
Exactly. And those are strictly dominated by males.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, guys? Tell us. Share.
Interested.
Yeah.
Completely intrigued right now.
Right.
Now my wheels are turning.
Yeah. So these are the conversations we love to have.
Because you know what? When I was running, because at one point, obviously I'm in healthcare, but I was running a surgery center.
Yeah.
And one of the nurses came to me and she said, She said, you manage like a man. I'm like, well, I guess that's good. Like, I really didn't know but what she did, I asked her to clarify it. And what she said was, you don't manage emotionally.
That's what it is.
She said, you're black and white. It's like, I'm sorry I had to let you go, but I gave you your verbal, I gave you your written, I gave you your warning, I gave you your PIP like we talked about before, and then now it's time for you to exit.
Yep.
And so she just said that she liked the fact that I could manage with my head and not my heart,
Right.
whereas most women manage with their heart and not their head.
Boom. Nailed it. Right there. Gems. Gold. Listen. Pause it. Rewind. Replay. That is what it is.
I remember it was a nurse at RN that worked underneath me, and she told me that, and I just thinking about that. I was like,
because hearing you say that makes sense for me as well, because as I've said on previous episodes, I have more masculine energy than feminine.
Yes, but see, that's when I'm in the workforce.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, we ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole other episode. We can't pause.
Girl.
Next episode, we're gonna talk about that. Cause look,
girl,
I want to cook somebody some breakfast. Run up and down the stairs. Honey, breakfast is ready.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you.
See, she got a ring. She don't even do nothing like that.
Nope. I'll bake you something, but I'm not about to be 30 minutes at a stove sweating for us to eat in 5 minutes. I just can't do it. I will make a casserole real quick, put that shit in the oven for about 45, go sit my ass down and watch some TV, come back, take it out, and we can eat.
I'm gonna be her. I be cooking 5 hours and ain't got nobody. It's okay though.
Nope.
That is good.
Nope.
That is good. He gonna send somebody that like oxtails. I just made oxtail stew yesterday. Just talked about that. That is hilarious.
I don't know how she's still single, guys. I honestly don't.
I don't either.
I think, well, I could tell you why I think it is. Because Rae is strong. She is a strong woman. And most men are intimidated by that. Because you can only have one alpha, right? Or so you think. There can be two alphas.
I don't think I'm an alpha in relationship. Maybe I am. Because somebody told me the other day, they said, you just like to get your way. You're right.
Yes. Girl, don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool you.
Argue with
there
that.
can be two alphas in a relationship, but the alphas need to have shared responsibilities. Because most alphas, as we all know, want to run shit, right? They want to be the one making the decisions.
The longer I am by myself, the more things I do to my house, I don't want nobody here. But that's good.
That's what I'm saying.
So I just had my closet remodeled, and I did a his and her side.
For what?
And my contractor said that because he knows me, and he said, I don't know why you're doing this side over here for the man. I was like, Carla, shut up. You know what I told him? If you build it, he will come. like you feel the dreams.
No, ma'am. We'll see.
But we had the segue, and so we're so silly. But I want to know what y'all feel about that.
Yeah,
I really do.
Tell us. I'm honestly curious.
I want to see if I'm just being like too on the fence about it, or like how I'm really feeling about it. But let me know.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Tell us your thoughts.
Yay! It's been another great episode, of course, as usual. We're gonna start doing different locations and different. People have asked us to record at their locations, so we're gonna maybe, do a couple of episodes that y'all will be able to look out for. I know, it's pretty cool. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah.
But until we see y'all again, please be mindful. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. We want everybody to be careful because we want to see you in the new year.
Yes.
Obviously.
And we always wish you tons of blessings.
For sure.
Tons of blessings, guys.
Blessings on blessings on blessings.
That's right.
On blessings. I can't dance. That's about all I get.
We wish y'all tons of blessings. Cannot wait for 2024.
Right.
We hope you guys have
what's going on, man.
Amazing, safe holidays. Enjoy whatever you're celebrating. Nothing but love.
See y'all later.
Thank you for tuning into I Talk Back with Rae and Mandii. Please hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on future podcasts.